On March 26, 1969, Gregg Allman arrived at the Gray House in Jacksonville. It was the communal home of the Second Coming. Duane Allman, Berry Oakley's band with Dickey Betts that Duane Allman had been sitting in with Butch Trucks and Jaimoe. Dickey Betts remembered Gregg walking into the room, backing up and saying, "Jesus Christ, what a band." Gregg picks up the story. He said they had that song Trouble No More. They had no singer. They just had the track to it. They handed me the lyrics. And I mean, it was just so incredible. They got through with it, and I was just standing there dumbfounded. I got my brother over to the side, and I said, "Now, look, man, I'm not real sure I can cut this or not. You might look for somebody better than me." And he came all apart, and he said, "You little shit," after I told all these nice people about you. He said it in earshot to them. And he said just the things big brothers can. Made me so mad, I snatched the words out of his hand and said, "Count the damn thing off." Trouble No More by Muddy Waters was the first and at the very last song that the Allman Brothers played. They played it in that room at the Gray House in Jacksonville. And then in October of 2014, October 28th of 2014, early morning hours of October 29th, they closed their entire career with Trouble No More at the Beacon Theater. Trouble No More is just the first of several Muddy Waters songs that the Allman Brothers end up covering. And they Allman Brotherify the song, the arrangement, right from the get-go. Muddy's version is kind of interesting. It's based on a Sleepy John Estes melody song that he called Sleepy John, called Someday Baby. Muddy called it Trouble No More. Muddy's version, I was listening to it today. I think I'm right here, but Muddy's version goes from 14 bars to 15 bars. And the final part of the song is 12 bars. The Allman Brothers Band play a 15-bar version of the song with a little rave up between the verse, chorus, and then the next round up with the verse. Something the Allman Brothers do a lot with any cover that they make. Certainly began from the very beginning. I mean, the one really that shows it is Muddy's Hoochie Coochie Man. We'll talk about that some other time, though. Now, Duane and Gregg were somewhat estranged when Duane was putting the Allman Brothers Band together in March of 1969. Gregg was the last person to arrive to join the Allman Brothers Band. And there has been some discussion, and I think there's some truth to this, that Duane was reluctant to call Gregg because they had a bit of a falling out over Hourglass, and Gregg returning to Los Angeles and sort of abandoning the 31st of February project with Butch Trucks. So they weren't on speaking terms. But Jaimoe said from the very beginning, Duane had always said, there ain't but one person who can sing in my band, and that's Gregg. So it was foreordained that Gregg was going to sing in Duane's band for sure. But it was something that didn't happen right away. And again, it's pretty ironic, somewhat ironic, that the last person to join the Allman Brothers Band was the Allman brother, Duane's chief collaborator up to that point. Probably the closest we'll ever hear to what Trouble No More sounded like are the demos that they recorded when they went to Macon, Georgia in April of 1969. That would be what it sounded like in its rawest form. The next recording we have is it was recorded in August of 1969, the debut album. And then in 1972, the Allman Brothers released it on Eat a Peach, a version of Trouble No More they recorded at Fillmore East in spring of 1971 and March of 1971, the At Fillmore East album that I wrote Play All Night about, and that really is their most famous work, and rightfully so. Trouble No More, Muddy Waters, Duane Allman, Gregg Allman. Long live the Allman Brothers Band.